Hey everybody, this is Pat from the Conflicts of Life. Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. I wanted to shoot this video because last night I couldn't sleep. I was up late watching the Warriors game, and I happened to peruse the Facebook page of a particular page that I was associated with up until last night. They got pissed with me, and I'm going to explain what happened and my point of view. This situation had came about. I had read this woman's message on this page because the page is dedicated to helping people restore their marriage. Okay. And I'm for that. So that wasn't the issue. So I'll tell you the issue at the end. But what happened was that she started to explain that she was believing God for her marriage to work out. And she hung on for a very long time, waiting and waiting and waiting. And then one day, believe it or not, she got information in the mail from the courts. Oh, this is good. And I want you guys feedback too. So when this is done, I want you to go to my Facebook page, which I'll be uploading there. And also I want you to shoot me an email. So my Facebook page is The Conflicts of Life, and my email is info@theconflictsoflife.org. I want to hear from you and see if I said the right thing or the wrong thing, because I did ask some other people who mentor me. I want to hear from you. So here's the situation. She got a letter from the court that said not only did her husband file for divorce and she didn't know about it, but the divorce was finalized. The divorce was finalized, and she walked away with absolutely nothing but the shirt on her back. Now, the people in the group were saying, well, just believe God, he can come back and everything else. I got on there and I said, hold on. There's nothing to believe for. If he has made up his mind that he does not want to be in this marriage, and he sneakily and dirtily went to the courts, filed for the divorce, won his case, and she knew nothing about it, what more are you supposed to believe in? Now, I could be wrong. That's why I told you guys, everybody is not going to like my answer, because some people say, hey, you know what? Believe God all the way until death do we part. Okay, I believe in that too. But there's a couple of things I want to throw in here. Okay, so hear me out before you blow me up. All right, and let me know at the end whether you agree or disagree. Here's what I said. I said, first of all, there's three main reasons in the Bible why it's okay for a person to get divorced. Number one is for adultery. If a person is having sex outside of marriage, you can divorce them. Okay, but that doesn't mean you have to. It means you can if you don't reconcile the situation. Also, that means that the person who is having the affair must be in a position of repentance, so that means that they don't want to be bothered with the other person and they want to bring the marriage back together. I counsel people who deal with that situation as well. And some of those men or women, it could be both, but the majority of the people who I deal with are women who their husband has stepped out on them, is still stepping out on them, have no desire to leave the other person who's out there on the street. So therefore, at that point, my recommendation is it's time to move on. And you have biblical grounds. The second reason is for abuse. Okay? For abuse. Because back in the day in the Old Testament, because people like to quote, the writing of the bill of divorcement that Moses gave. Well, one of the reasons why was because of the hardness of men's heart, and I'm going to get to that. But back in the day, men were actually divorcing their wives because they couldn't cook, because they didn't like what they was looking like, or whatever. So they were just coming up with random reasons just to divorce. They were being very abusive to the women. And so therefore, Moses stepped in and said, hey, this is a time where you can just actually divorce and get out of this situation because it's abusive. So we're talking about mental and physical abuse, right? So now we have adultery, and then we have abuse. Now, what's the third one? The third one is abandonment. If a person chooses to depart from you, then they have stepped outside the marriage covenant. The word covenant means an agreement. Don't ever forget that. The word covenant means there's an agreement. Now, there's two kinds of agreements in the Bible. One is called a unilateral agreement, and one is called a bilateral agreement. Let me give you an example. A unilateral agreement is where in the Bible, for an example, where God promised Abraham, and I know some of you guys who's watching this video probably are not Christians, just hang tight, because this is for my Christian family. They piss me off a little bit. I love them, but they piss me off. So hang tight, okay? But here's the point. The unilateral agreement means that there was nothing that God promised to Abraham as far as the land of Israel, or, and all those different things. He said, I will give you the land, and you will have children as many as the stars in the sky, and all these, and the sand and the grains of sand on the seashore. You're going to have millions of children, and you're going to be able to have this land. Now, one time did God say that I needed something from you? Not one time. Okay. So that's called a unilateral, meaning one. There's only one person who needs to fulfill that part of the bargain. Now, a bilateral is different. Bi means two. Okay. That's where we get the term, and excuse me, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's where we get the term bifocals or bisexual and all these different things. It means two. Okay. That's all it means. So here's the point. The point is a bilateral agreement is what you have in a marriage covenant. It means that two people have come together and made an agreement betwixt each other. Betwixt, you see that? That's a Bible term. All right. So two people coming together saying, I will make a commitment to you and you only. That's a bi, meaning that I am committing to you. You are committing to me. Do you see that? So when the two of those people decide that they no longer, or let me say it like this. If both of them decide we're bilateral, I'm not committing to you anymore, there's nothing you can do about that. Secondly, if one of the partners decide that they don't want to be there anymore, there's really nothing you can do about it. But you say, okay, well, hold on. That's not biblical grounds. Wait a minute. Slow down a bit. Now let's take a look at what Jesus said about this, because he was addressed about this in the New Testament. And he was asked clearly, so what is your opinion about divorce? And Jesus himself said, in the beginning, it was not so, but due to the hardness of men's hearts, Moses gave a bill of divorcement. He permitted it. In other words, nobody likes divorce, but because you cannot change a man's heart, therefore, you have to let people go. Now, that begs another question. Last night, and here's where it comes in, and I want to get you guys feedback. They told me, well, you are out of order, you're wrong, and this and that, because in the Old Testament, didn't God harden Pharaoh's heart? I said, well, that's a pretty good point, except for one thing. If you read the scriptures carefully, wasn't it the truth that Pharaoh's heart was already hard against God and against the children of Israel? So in other words, he did not necessarily, in quote unquote, harden his heart, meaning that, oh, Pharaoh was a lover of Israel and a lover of God, and God twirled his heart around to do his bidding. No, God actually just simply took advantage of the situation that was already occurring for the freedom of the abusive relationship that Pharaoh had with God's people. So God said, if you want to have a hard heart against me and my children, I'm going to harden it a little bit more, but I'm going to harden it so it works in my favor. And that's how he delivered the children of Israel. Now, that was my opinion. Okay, that was my opinion. That's according to what I understand about the scriptures. I would love to hear from you. So visit our website, theconflictsoflife.org. There's an email there where you can contact us. Also, I would love to hear from your feedback. I really want to know your feedback on this one. So hit me up at info@theconflictsoflife.org, and I'm going to be posting this on my Facebook page. So please, I would love to get you guys feedback as well. Let me know if I'm wrong. I have no problem with being wrong. But again, I did not want this woman she was in there asking for prayer and help, and she was going through so much pain because she found out her husband then sat there and divorced her, got a finalized divorce. I'm still baffled. How can you do that? Unless he said that he couldn't find her, something like that. But he got a finalized divorce on this woman. She walked away with nothing but the shirt on her back. And these people are still telling her, oh, you need to believe God for a reconnection with your marriage. I couldn't believe that. That frustrated me to no end. Many of you guys know my story. Hey, sometimes there's just nothing you can do when a person wants to leave. So why would you have this woman believe in her mind that if she moves on and try to heal, then now she's offending God? Now you're giving her a double whammy. That's not fair to this woman. And I truly believe that God is a God of mercy and grace, and that he loves this woman. And he wouldn't condemn her to a situation where a man has moved on, divorced her, moved on, and now she's still supposed to sit in one spot hoping forever that this man will come back to her when he has already demonstrated his will. Which brings to the last point, and I want to say this before we go. What they said was that God can do anything, and I believe that. But I said God has one point of kryptonite. And you guys need to hear this, okay? God has one point of kryptonite. And that's his own word. So in Genesis, when he said, let them have dominion, that means let man have control over the earth and the birds in the sea and the fish in the air and everything else. He gave us control of this planet. Therefore, what that means is he gave us free will to make a choice whether to serve him and obey him or not. So therefore, when we're telling people, well, you know, God can do anything, that is true. But the one thing he will not do is violate your will. And for those people who are super Christians with the cape on their backs, think about it. Why are you trying to be super holy? And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying we got to correct our thinking sometimes, because you're condemning people to a life of pain. A life of pain. They tried to do me like that. I never will have recovered. So anyway, here it is. Think about it like this. When it came to salvation, God already had offered salvation, but did you take it quickly right off the top? Or did circumstances happen to you and then you made a decision that, hey, I think I need Jesus? Come on now. Let's not be holy. Let's tell the truth. Because even Jesus said in the Bible, God said, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. Not one time did the Bible ever say that he forced you to be saved. So therefore, if he never forced you to be saved, why do you think he's going to force a person who has made the decision to leave your life, that's your responsibility to sit around until God forces them? I'm going to tell you why I'm against that, and we'll close this video. The reason why I am against that is because the ultimate end of that kind of thinking is you being angry with God, your creator, because you're going to blame him for not bringing that person back, not realizing that that person had a free will just like you. And God honored that free will. Now, am I saying that God cannot restore marriage? Absolutely not. There are circumstances he can bring into the person's life to make them do a 360, a complete turnaround. But the person has to make a decision at the end whether they're going to even respond to those points of view. Have a great day, everybody. Go and visit theconflictsoflife.org or the Facebook page, The Conflicts of Life. And last but not least, please email me, hit me up. I really want your opinion. info@theconflictsoflife.org. Have a great day, you guys. Enjoy this sunshine. Bye.